Welcome, Czas Na Kulturę, time for the culture. This is our first English program for students from the whole world. We have a special guest today. Our guest is Bhakti Vedanta Sadhu Maharaj. He came from... Okay, Maharaj, maybe you explain everything.
Well, I came from India actually. Most of the time I spent in India, in the holy place of Vrindavan. But I was born in Lithuania, which is nearby. So for the period of pandemic, I was sometime in Lithuania, and I came to Poland about almost a year ago to stay here with my colleagues from the same school. And yes, Darek was right. My name is Bhakti Vedanta Sadhu Maharaj. I belong to this tradition of Vedic knowledge. And I'm a monk, sannyasi monk, which means renounce the world. And I'm trying to give some idea about this Vedic culture to general public. I do appreciate the endeavors of Darek and all the people here in this university and presenting this Vedic knowledge. Thank you.
You look a little bit different than people in the Western. Can you explain what you have on your body?
Well, this is the sun which is rising, the color of the rising sun. When the sun is rising in the morning, it is exactly the same color. This is quite metaphoric because we're speaking about the rising sun of pure love. In this material world we have love, but it's relative love. Sometimes it's quite disappointing actually on its subsequent stages. But spiritual love has no end. It will never end. Because the principle, spiritual principle, which is the subject of all the Vedas, it deals with the love which is endless. Everything in the spiritual world is endless, but maybe you have some exact questions about the subject.
Yes, you start speaking about love. This is a big subject matter. Can you explain what does it mean, love? Because we have also experience in this world love. Can you tell a little more? What is a Vedic or Vedanta way of love?
In Indian languages, which come from Sanskrit, the ancient language of the Vedas, there are many words for love. There is word priti, there is word prema. There are so many other words, but the word prema we mentioned is that pure love we mentioned in the very beginning. Priti or prema is that love ourselves as individual souls initially have for the super soul, for the full representative of the Supreme Personality in our heart. So in the Vedas, which are the ancient-most books in our planet, there is a metaphor about two birds sitting in one tree. So one tree picks the fruits of the tree with its beak, and the other bird just observes what the first one is doing. So the first one is the individual soul. The individual soul is pecking those fruit, some bitter ones, some sweet ones, and has reactions for that, and picks up those reactions. And the second bird, which is the silent super soul, just observes the activity of the first bird. So since time immemorial, we as individual souls are pecking here and there, are pecking the fruits, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Well, the common morality is saying do good to others, then it will return to you as good karma. Or if you do bad, then bad karma will return and you'll be suffering. So don't suffer, be happy, do good karma, and then get good results. But the super soul, or the silent representative of the Supreme Personality in every heart, is just observing the movements of the first soul, and when the time comes for the individual soul, means the first bird, to look towards the second bird, means the super soul, then the process of yoga starts. Yoga means union. That's a very important word in the Vedic tradition and the Vedic wisdom. Yoga means union. So the union between the two souls, the individual soul and the super soul, means yoga. So what does it include? It includes relationship, yes. That relationship is called rasa. Rasa means taste. So if the first bird, means the individual soul, has great desire for developing that relationship in love and devotion, that is called yoga. So the particular yoga we practice is called Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga. Bhakti means love and devotion. Love and devotion is very initial, inborn type of activity every soul has. But some souls are not realizing that. That's why they are called conditioned. And some souls, they do realize. That's why they are liberated. So two kinds of souls. So those souls who are established in that yoga process between the first bird and the second, means the individual soul and the super soul, they're called yogis. Otherwise they can become liberated from miseries of this life, material life, and get to the platform of spiritual life, and then they can achieve the realization of prema, or spiritual love. So this love we have in this world is very temporary. It has the other side, the dark side. So it will come as negativity, as some painful reactions, that love, everybody knows disappointments, depressions, the other side, the black side of the love we're experiencing. But spiritual love is never ending, because it's on the level of the soul. It's not on the level of the body, either gross or subtle. Gross body, we have these 5 elements, fire, water, air, ether, what else? And subtle body is your mind, intelligence and ego, but the soul is completely transcendental to those material elements. Yes?
As I understand, without this love, the spiritual love, we are sleeping, yes? We are not conscious, we are in ignorance, yes? This is true?
Yes, whatever we see, we can be calling dreams, more or less. What we see around. These are just impressions, new impressions, new situations we get, and we undergo through same cycle of activities. Wake up, go to work, go back, birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease. How much happiness can we get when we're young for some time? And that is it. Then it will get finished.
But you said that is a rasa, this is very tasteful
experience.
Yes, and I want to take this rasa. Is it possible for everyone or only for few persons?
Derek becoming greedy for rasa.
Yeah, I like rasa. I like taste, sweet taste or some special taste. Yes. Everyone likes this.
Yes, okay. So yes, that's the right of every soul to have it. Not only the right, actually it's life, every soul's life, to have that taste. Because the taste we experience in this world is very temporary. How many sweets can you eat? What's your favorite sweet? Rasagula. Gulab Jamun.
Rasamalai.
Rasamalai. So how many rasamalais can you eat in one feast? 5, 10? Okay, you become sick with diabetes.
Yeah, this is true.
Because you have temporary body. And what to speak of alcoholics and all those people, so they're very unhappy. But the taste which we're talking about, which is transcendental rasa, is endless, is completely endless. So that can be achieved through bhakti, through the process of loving devotion.
And relationship, yes.
Relationship.
With him,
Yes.
with who is I should be related.
As we were mentioning.
With you, when I will be related with you, it will be rasa.
See, remember that example with the two birds?
Yes.
So the first bird is like you and me, conditioned soul in this world, individual soul. And the second bird is the super soul. Super soul within the heart is the full representative of Supreme Personality.
But I also understand that we are in school, that we have relationship with teacher,
Yeah.
with person who have much more and
Yes.
bigger knowledge than me.
Yes.
That when I get relationship with such a person, I also take some rasas, some bigger taste. This
Yeah.
is good understanding or bad?
Yes, absolutely. Because we cannot see Super Soul right now with our eyes, with our senses. It's not possible. That's why we need a perfect representative. Yeah? So that your representative can come in the form of human being, in the form. Because he's like one of us. We saw in the history those perfect gurus. Jesus was one of them. Prophet Muhammad, so many. So they're gurus.
Are you also guru?
Well, I'm trying to become a disciple. Disciple means student. I'm trying to become a student. One cannot claim one is guru, never, because the principle is humility. The principle is humility or pridelessness. So you cannot become proud, I am guru. No. I'm looking for guru and I want to become a disciple. But yes, we have very great fortune in our life. We have met such guru. My Gurudev's name is Shishyamat Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And my Shiksha Guru's means instructing spiritual master's name is Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. Right now, he's present.
That means this is real persons, yes?
Yes, these are real persons.
Everyone can meet such a person, or only this is only for sannyasi or for some special person who can meet such a great teacher? Everyone can,
undoubtedly, but there's one qualification though. The qualification is great desire, to have a great desire. If you have desire, then you will meet. If you go to some university, as all of you have come, right? You had desire, and you had desire to meet a bona fide professor, a great professor, who is expert in all those sciences. So you might have met, or you're still searching, I don't know. But in that same way, the spiritual path we're following, and in this spiritual path, the principle of Guru, as Darek stated, very, very important. So we can come to the process, we can start spiritual practice, and certainly it's our desire to meet Guru, perfect representative of the Super Soul and the perfect master of all Vedic knowledge. So then all that taste or rasa Darek was mentioning will become perceivable for us. It will become realized. Then Vedic wisdom will be our possession. Now maybe a few words about the Vedas, right?
Yes, and I also have a question, because for many persons maybe it is a little painful to give up some stereotype or some knowledge who have not exactly speak about truly about some subject matter, and you give us such a sunshine from your mouth that everyone can experience this taste, and everyone can take this. That is a question. Why is not so popular? Maybe why is not so for this desire for meeting such a great teachers is not for everyone, or maybe person doesn't know about such a knowledge what you represent.
You mentioned stereotypes is difficult to give up. Actually, when the time comes, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's easy, and also very necessary to give up, because the principle of higher taste is there. When you experience a higher taste, as one of our books, Bhagavad Gita, states, Param Drishtani Vartante, means experiencing the higher taste. So experiencing the higher taste is a driving force for giving up old taste. For example, a person was eating only sugar, right? So some person was working on a sugar factory and was getting some sugar for free. So he was licking that sugar. But then somebody told him, hey, look here, I have bought something from a sweet shop around the corner. See in that sweet shop, how many, especially Indian sweets, you know, we were mentioning rasagula and rasamalai, all those things you see, you can taste, and halava, what to speak, you know, and gulab jamuns and so many others. So then a person looks and experiences a variety of different tastes, and that experience is full of new and new rasas, new and new tastes. So certainly he will not be attracted to that sugar anymore, because the sugar itself is just quite primitive comparing to all those new tastes. And the second part of the question was whether it's for all or for some special ones. So if you have great desire, then you will naturally become a special one. Everybody can become a special one, everybody can become qualified. Special one means qualified. Then you will be able to receive great experience, and then you will be much closer for realization of your super soul.
Oh, this is nice, that is for everyone. I was thinking maybe this is only for such a person as you. Okay, can you tell us much more about Vedas? You start this subject, this is important subject. With which books you recommend for us? What we first should study for this first step for our summarization.
So Vedas, as was mentioned before, is the ancient most body of literature here in this earth, spiritual literature. I think all scientists, they recognize the Vedas as the ancient most. Actually, the Vedas are called apaurushaya, means not written by human. So in that sense they're transcendental. This word, I think, is nowadays commonly understood, that it's coming from the transcendental source, spiritual source, from above of this material world, this mortal plane. So the author of the Vedas is the Supreme Lord himself. And there are two sections of the Vedic literature, Shrutis and Smritis. The Shruti section is comprised of the 4 Vedas. Initially it was one, Yajur Veda, then it was divided into 4. Yajur, Sama, Atharva and Rig. So these 4. And then there are more than 108 Upanishads, 11 of which are most important. Upanishads are the commentaries of the Vedas. The term Upanishad means sitting close. So a student sits close to the master and hears everything. So Shruti, the name of that section, means which has been heard and which was realized as revelation. And when you hear, then revelation is coming. So those Upanishads, 11 most important ones, Kena, Taittiriya and others, they give commentary to the initial Vedas. Then Nyaya or logic is also there. And
Ishopanishad also?
Ishopanishad is one of them.
Om Purnam Ada
Purnam Idam, yes.
Can you explain what does it mean, Om Purnam Ada? Because also good to know some section from Upanishad, some drop of the ocean.
Okay, thank you. Just after I finish the explanation of the structure of the Vedas, then I'll be back with your second question. So, and the second section of the Vedas is called Smritis, whatever was remembered. So Smritis are itihasas, or the stories, histories, Mahabharata, Ramayana. You must have heard about Mahabharata. It's quite a popular serial also. And Ramayana, the pastimes of Lord Ram. And then Puranas, and some more scriptures.
Mahabharat, even for now, on the banknote of rupee is Bharat, Bharatya. The Indian people call not Hindu, but Bharat.
Yes.
This is also good to know that for us this is Indian people, but for Indian people it's not Indian, but it's Bharat from Maharaj Bharat. As I understand.
Yes. Mahabharat means Great India. And Bharata was the name of Maharaj, of the king of the ancient past. Actually, the whole planet was called after Maharaj Bharat. The whole planet was called Bharat. So that's why India now is called Bharat. Formerly, the whole planet was like one state. And that state was under the rule of one emperor. And that state was fully in Vedic culture. Then Vedic culture was forgotten. This age of deterioration, quarrel and hypocrisy started. It's called Kali Yuga, or the Iron Age. That's why the Vedic culture is more or less forgotten. And Puranas, and the best of Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam, or Bhagavata Purana, is the highest science about the Supreme Personality. And then also Vedanta Sutra, the 550 aphorisms, which encodes in short phrases, explain the essence of the Vedic knowledge. So this is the structure of Vedic literature. Now,
few drops, maybe from Upanishads, from Bhagavata Purana, maybe some drops for testing for this rasa.
Yes, you mentioned before, you asked before about Om Purnamada Purnamadam, the introductory mantra of Isha Upanishad, one of the essential Upanishads, one of the 11. Isha means the Supreme Personality, to whom all the Vedas are relating. And it has only 18 texts, very short. And the introductory mantra is Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamevaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. You could hear that word Purnam. Purnam means full, complete, whole. So the Supreme Personality is full and complete in Himself. The spiritual principle proclaims 1 + 1 = 1. So that's the whole principle.
Spiritual mathematics.
Spiritual mathematics, exactly. So 1 + 1 means 1. So all the parts of that supreme whole, it can be divided also, very strangely sounding maybe, but it can be divided. But it's indivisible, but still it can be divided. And every part, every expansion of that supreme whole has all qualities of the supreme whole, and when those expansions come off the initial supreme whole, they the initial supreme whole does not diminish. It remains the same. It remains unchangeable.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's most amazing. So 1 - 1 also equals 1. So the next verse is Ishavasya Medam Sarvam Kincha Jagatir Jagat Tenartikana Punchita Svidhanam. So in that verse it said that one has to take in this world only the part which belongs to him. All living and non-living manifestations come from the initial supreme whole, and they are his property. Ishavasyam idam sarvam means everything we can see, spiritual manifestation, material manifestation, all the objects, all
that means that even our
bodies
is not belongs to us.
That's the property of the supreme whole we're using right now. So if we use it improperly, it means for our illegitimate satisfaction, which we have no right to, then its improper use and as a result we're suffering. So many people are killing their bodies in a slow way. Some of them, become suicides, that's another way, but just slow suicide also, very, very bad reaction. So the bodies are suffering, and they make the super soul within the heart suffer also. Can super soul suffer? No. The super soul is always immersed in bliss. But the super soul is feeling compassion.
Empathic.
Yes.
For our
compassion towards the silly individual soul which is totally an illusion. So yes, unluckily in this material world we are prone to be in illusion. Actually the four deficiencies, the four defects are typical for us. Those four defects are pramada, vipralipsa, Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Amarakatava. Brahma means mistake. We commit mistakes. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, he was very good, but he committed many mistakes. At the end, his secretary was telling him, "Oh Mahatmaji, please don't go to that gathering. It's very dangerous." So he went there and he was shot by his own bodyguard, I think. And then that was Brahma, mistake. Brahma, then Pramada, or illusion. We tend to be in illusion. We're thinking, I'm my body, I'm my mind, but I'm neither my body nor my mind. Who am I?
I had a phone, this phone belongs to me.
This phone belongs to me.
Or this is true or not?
Well, you're renting it for temporary use. Then it will become, the combination of material elements. Just after a few years you'll get another one. Where will be the old one? It will be processed. So it will disappear.
Yes, someone looking on the mirror and see, oh, I am so young, but after 40 years, 50 years, the structure of body change and it's not so young, it's very old.
Yeah. So
this is illusion.
This is illusion. So what's that? Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, the tendency to cheat. Oh, that's a typical thing. This world was called by one of our spiritual teachers as the world of the cheaters and the cheated. So if you are not the cheater, then you will be cheated. Anyway, you try to be honest, but you will be cheated by the cheaters. That's the pathetic feature of this world. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, although those cheaters, they go towards very, very hellish conditions, anyway they do, unluckily. And the fourth one is that our senses are imperfect. Our senses are imperfect. We can see something, we can think it's gold, but not all that glitters is gold, isn't it? Okay, so it may be a piece of some folio paper, it may be some nicely decorated plastic or piece of glass, but not gold. So many people take for gold whatever is not gold, and that's why they suffer. So that's why by our own endeavors we cannot know the Supreme Soul. There are two methods used by modern science. That is direct experience and reasoning. Okay, so direct experience, I can touch this glass, I can touch this table, and I can feel it. Okay, that's my experience. This surface is a bit rough, and this surface is very smooth, the book. But, for example, I've seen the fire in the kitchen. The ancient kitchen had fires with smoke. And I can see, oh, there's a smoke in the hill, on the hill. It means there's a fire. So that's my logical conclusion, But my logical conclusion is also not perfect, because there may be smoke without fire. Also, there's a reason. The fire is disappearing because of the bad weather, and there's no fire and just smoke. So the fire is extinguished. Or there's some other type of smoke. Maybe you know.
This is all these things is because we have this 4 imperfections.
Yeah, the 4 imperfections, exactly. Those 4 imperfections prevent us from having the accurate information. So we're just building theories and we're believing in them about the world and about the contents of this world.
And this is not real knowledge, because if you doesn't have truly understanding about subject matter, that means that is only your
hypothesis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of knowledge, but it's not perfect. You're right. So what to do for that perfect to become perfect? For that knowledge to become perfect, you have to take the very important principle, which is the Vedic principle of Shabda. Shabda means transcendental sound. Shabda Praman means transcendental
knowledge
sound.
from the teacher, yes?
Knowledge from the 3 substances, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Means spiritual master, both initiating and instructing. Sadhu means instructing spiritual master, holy person. And holy scripture, or holy book, like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and others, are the Shastra also. So these 3 things, they constitute Shabda, or spiritual sound. Spiritual sound can be presented as a book, but before there were no books. There were just spiritual masters speaking and disciples remembering what spiritual masters are speaking. At once they were remembering. There was no need of books. We can see so many books around because people have no memory in this age. That's why we need, I also brought my papers with me. Derek was joking, haha, you're going to read it. But, sorry, my memory is going, I'm already crossing 50.
But so you are like professor, you know so many things, Maharaj. For the end of our meeting, can you say something substantial for our students, for our guests? What is your main point of this, what you say today?
Dear friends, so we were mentioning the Vedic method, and we were comparing it with the common method of Western science, Western philosophy. 2 methods of direct experience and logic and reasoning is very prominent. But the 3rd method, which we are stressing, which is typical for the Vedic wisdom, is Shabda, means the spiritual sound. So spiritual sound constitutes the words of Guru, or spiritual master, the words of instructing spiritual master, Sadhu, and the words of the holy scriptures, the Shastras. So these 3 are very, very important, and these are the most important features of the Vedic wisdom. Shabda Praman, or the proof from the transcendental sound, are accepted as most prominent. It's faultless. It has no 4 deficiencies. It has no 4 faults we were just mentioning. So there is no question of blunders, illusion, imperfection of senses and cheating. Everything is crystal clear, and in the Vedas there's absolute truth given. In India, if somebody makes some statement, the other party can ask, where is it stated in the Vedas? Where can you substantiate your statements? Where can you quote? So that's very important. And if you want your knowledge of the absolute truth to be perfect, then you have to take the help of this principle of Shabda, or Vedic sound, transcendental sound. Then you will have perfect knowledge. Otherwise that knowledge will be only relative. Means it will be today but disappear tomorrow.
Okay, Maharaj. Can you be with relationship with you? Because we want this rasa, what you said today for us, and also we want to have such a nice associate with you to be connected after maybe some questions appears in our school and we have such a great person with our friends that we can ask you some questions. Maybe you give some answers. Is it possible to be with you connected?
Definitely, I'm very happy to stay in touch. My intention is to return to Vrindavan, to India, as soon as possible, as soon as the situation in India is coming back to normal. But for some time I'll be staying in Poland. So for another couple of months we'll be very happy to contact you in any way you want, or we can meet personally, or we can correspond. So thank you very much, and Om Tat Sat.
Pranipat Maharaj, Namaskar. Thank you so much, our guests. See you later.
All the best.
And we invite you for others, our programs. Thank you so much.